So when we are anxious or uncomfortable or about to lie or trying to not lie, right? Like those white lie situations where you're like, yeah, that dress looks great. Yes, I love it. Oh yeah, the meal was delicious, right? Like those moments where you're like, oh, this is so uncomfortable. Your body tenses, right? Your body is preparing for action. It's preparing to be defensive, so protect itself, or offensive, spring into action. So our body begins to tense. Our chest tenses, our shoulders clench. We often roll our shoulders up as if we're getting ready to fight someone. We clench our fists, we clench our jaw, we roll our shoulders in. Our vocal cords tighten. Our vocal cords are actually the fastest responders. That's because we're in the least amount in control of them. So if I start to be anxious, or you ask me a question that makes me nervous, my vocal cords tense just a little bit, and I go a little higher in my range. And then what begins to happen is I actually begin to lose breath. So I'm talking at the end of my breath because I'm so nervous, and that brings in vocal fry. And so someone who is very nervous or very anxious, they'll be all the way up here with a lot of vocal fry, and they sound like this. The moment I relax my vocal cords, I've trained myself to tighten or loosen them. The moment I relax my vocal cords, I can go down to my maximum resonance point. I have a lot more volume. I have none of that fry. That is really important as humans because we are always listening for that anxiety because we don't want to catch it. We don't want to work with someone, be with someone, sit with someone, buy from someone who's in anxiety. Right? If someone's giving us a pitch and they say, well, yeah, I mean, like, we really want your business. We really think we can work well with you. And it will just, be a couple $1,000s. We don't want to work with someone who's anxious because we think if they're anxious about their service, I should be anxious about their service. And so the reason why this is...
I was going to say, there's lots of implications to that. I mean, if you don't come across as confident, you might get your lunch handed to you. You might be on the short end of the stick, for example, in the negotiation, even if, you do have the value and it's a fair deal, but you may get walked on like a doormat if you don't come across as confident.
Yes, exactly. So it's also a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy in that a lot of the times, and I wrote this book and I like sharing cues for very, very smart people who are social overthinkers. So a lot of very, very smart people, they have incredible ideas. They're so talented. They're so smart. They've honed their skills for years. So they know their ideas are good, but they don't understand their cues, or they don't know how to communicate their ideas. So the disconnect is someone who is super smart and they know they have a great pitch, a great idea. They're going into the boardroom or they're going into their boss room or they're going into Shark Tank and they're about to pitch it, but they're nervous about their communication. So their communication or being in front of a big important room makes them sound nervous about their idea, but actually their idea is solid. And so what I want to make sure of is if you have great ideas and great skills, your cues should match. You feel competent and warm and confident, you should know exactly how to communicate with confidence and warmth and competence so that your ideas are able to be heard.